Have you ever felt drained, anxious, or just stuck in negativity? Like you weren't yourself and you couldn't explain why? Chances are you might have an entity. I know this sounds strange and it's a little supernatural, but you wouldn't believe how many of us are going through this experience consistently. And in this video, I am going to share with you the 101 on entities and how to reclaim your energy so that you're never affected again. Hi, I'm Amy Elizabeth, your energy evolution mentor, here to make spirituality simple. And in this video, we are going to get down and dirty with entities. So folks, this is like one of my favorite topics. I have a dear friend who calls me the demon slayer. And in the beginning of my career, one of the things that I used to do was a lot of, let's call them exorcisms. And so there's multiple different kinds of entities. Okay, so we have some disembodied spirits and we have some evil spirits. This is like the highest form, right? And these are those that can attach themselves to you, or they can attach themselves in your energy field. We have 7 energy bodies, and they can attach yourself in that field, which will taunt you and poke at you and make you feel uncomfortable in your own skin consistently. And also, sometimes they can tempt you to do things that you typically wouldn't do and behave in ways that you might have disapproved of. And this is a sure sign that you have an entity. And some of them are going to poke at us and also make us vulnerable and weaker and almost be more like a parasite, where they suck off of our energy field. They desire to have us feel pain because in that pain is their joy. I know this sounds really fucked up, but just know that the environment is filled with spirits. That's the truth. And we're not a victim to them. We coincide with them all day long. And this is just how it is. But when we're vulnerable, we make ourselves available to these entities. So entities in layman's form is a spirit. It's an energy that is outside of ourselves. It can be something that could be parasitic and living off of our energy field. It can be what we call a disembodied spirit, which is a spirit that has potentially tried to pass over but couldn't and is still in the realm in between worlds. It could be an evil spirit, which also can be the same and has decided to live off pain, suffering, and lower vibratory energies. Why? Because it feeds on what it knows. We also have elementals. Elementals are fourth dimensional beings, and they can be really kind of funny, honestly. Like when you lose your keys and you know you put them right on the hook by the door and they're not there, or on the table or wherever, and all of a sudden they're not there, and you look and you look and you look, and then all of a sudden the fourth time you look, they're there. And you're like, I know I looked there. How did that happen? These are gnomes and fairies and other kinds of fourth dimensional beings who like to poke with us, play with us, and they're more they're more playful. We also have elemental beings like fire, air, earth, water beings, and there are beings that live inside of these elements. And they can heal us, help us. We can call on them as unseen forces to help cleanse, purify, transmute, or for ceremonial and ritualistic purposes. And this is what those who have come before us have done time and time and time for eons and generations. We also have even lower forms of elementals, which are sort of like dust bunnies. It's the best way to describe it. And they're really just more of a hindrance. They can't really do any damage. They won't hurt you. You won't find or feel any pain from them. But they're just, they like to attach to messy places, dirty places, sticky places. We also have another form of elemental, which is really quite mischievous. And you usually find them in shopping stores, like clothing stores or bars. And so Elementals can be picked up from alcohol, from cigarette smoke, from shopping, and they're actually energetic forms that have come into matter or form in catabolic energy, and they're residing in the field, just in the air, in the ether, and they attach to you and give you a little message like, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me, or smoke me, smoke me, smoke me, or drink one more, drink one more, drink one more, drink one more. You know, when you go into a store and you say, I'm just going to go in and get a bathing suit because that's what I need, and all of a sudden you come out and you've got all these clothes with you and you're like, how did I do that? That's an elemental. So there are multiple different kinds of entities, and in the way that I language this, we have generational entities, we have evil spirits, disembodied spirits, shadow people, multitudes of different kinds of elementals, whether it be actually air, earth, water, fire, or it be fourth dimensional beings like gnomes and fairies and sprites, or it be lower beings that are elementals, sort of hindrances. And each one of these elementals attracts to a person that is vulnerable. And they are attracted to an individual based on, you know, what they are. So a generational spirit typically is found at the base of your spine, somewhere in your coccyx or your sacrum. And the reason that it sits there is because that is where your life force sits. A generational spirit could be somebody who was, you know, a great ancestor in your bloodline. Maybe they fell to addiction, or they hurt somebody else in some kind of a way, whether it been rape or killing or something of that nature. Then this doesn't mean that everybody's going to get this. Okay, I just want to be very clear about this. Yet, more often than not, when the person who has the generational entity attached to them, they then feel the same energy that entity had. And the reason that they would attach to somebody in their bloodline is because they want to relive the experience through this person. And so when we do this kind of work, we have to make sure that the body is primed and ready and illuminated and energized and healthy, because these are some of the hardest entities to remove. Why? Because it's your bloodline. This is somebody like your great-grandfather or your grandfather. It's somebody who you had a relationship with, most likely, that decided when it was passing over, it wasn't ready to go, and it decided to come back to you. Why? Because you associated with some form of its energy, and then it attaches to the bottom of your spine, and you live with it most of your life and have no idea that it's even there because it's now puppeteering you. Evil spirits and disembodied spirits are very similar in the fact that they've tried to pass over, but were not able to because of shock. They left the body too soon, whether it be because of famine or suicide or homicide. They were in shock. And disembodied spirits more so, because they're still in liminal space. So, and one of the things that I know about reclaiming your energy and not ever letting anything affect you is to fill yourself with these beings. So consistently calling them in is one way to support your energetic system so that negative energies and entities and elementals don't get attracted to you. Because you literally have a brigade of these unseen forces, these warriors of light that are protecting you. So one of the ways that we can do this is call in an ancestor. So I know, like, my grandmother has passed over, and she is a guiding force in my life, and I can smell her and I can feel her, and I can even sometimes hear her singing. And so when I call her forward, I know she is a spirit guide for me. And I call her forward, and I call forward the archangels and the ascended masters, and I also call forth their light. I call forth the blue light, the blue flame of protection with Archangel Michael. I call him forward to fill my eyes, my ears, my nose, my mouth, the top of my head, the bottom of my feet, my hands, and any other orifice in my body, so that I feel completely protected and that it's consistently being fed by purity, by protection, by truth, and by integrity. And this in itself just by reclaiming your energy and doing this practice gives you the opportunity to stand in your power and become super powerful. And what entity is going to want to mess with that? I'm so grateful that you've watched this video to the end. I'm so grateful that you're here and paying attention to the work. It means so much to me. So please like, subscribe, and share this video so that you can make your life awesome and live in awe. Until next time.